Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening in spite of the cold temperatures. I'm now calling our council meeting to order. First, we will have our invocation, and then we will have our Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation from Mayor Hinton and remain standing for the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we ask you to give us a spirit of service. Guide us to be the leaders your people need. May we be granted wisdom, discernment, and compassion as we deliberate on the matters before us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on our agenda is roll call. Ms. Webb, call roll, please.
Pro Tem Washington.
Here.
Councilman Wiggins.
Here.
Councilwoman Dykes.
Here.
Councilman Aiken.
Here.
And President Bobo.
Present. Item number 5 on our agenda is presentations. Tonight we have two. We had to change one to February 3rd. So the previous proclamation for the Tuscaloosa County High School cheerleaders has been moved to February 3rd. Mayor Hinton will be presenting the first proclamation for Human Trafficking Prevention Month. If you could, if you're from that organization supporting Human Trafficking Prevention Month, please join our mayor at the lectern.
Glad y'all are here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
These two proclamations, we do this every meeting practically, at least once a month. But these two tonight are very special and very important. So let me read the first. Whereas human trafficking is a public health issue and crime that harms the health and well-being of individuals, families, and communities, often across generations. Whereas nearly 25 years after the passing of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, an estimated 27.6 million people are subjected to human trafficking globally, with cases reported in every U.S. state and territory, including throughout Alabama. Whereas human trafficking can happen to anyone, but certain populations are at greater risk, including people affected by abuse, violence, poverty, unstable living conditions, or social disconnect. Whereas human trafficking is connected to many other forms of violence and exploitation and often shares common risk and protective factors such as lack of resources and unsafe environments. Whereas strengthening communities requires collective action to reduce the conditions that contribute to exploitation, build resilience, and create environments where people are protected from human trafficking and other forms of violence. Whereas the City of Northport is committed to ensuring that those impacted by human trafficking receive services that are trauma-informed and responsive to their individual needs. Whereas a successful response to human trafficking requires a coordinated community-wide response that includes collaboration across sections and with those who have experienced human trafficking firsthand to ensure that services and programs are effective and meet the needs of all survivors. Whereas every individual, family, community, and organization can help raise awareness, prevent trafficking, and support survivors by learning how to take action. And whereas the City of Northport supports partnerships to comprehensively address the issues of human trafficking and create trafficking-free zones. Now, therefore, I, John Hinton, as Mayor of the City of Northport, do hereby proclaim January 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month, reaffirming our commitment to strengthening communities, preventing trafficking by increasing awareness, improving education on human trafficking, making resources available for individuals and communities impacted by human trafficking, and as a trafficking-free zone, build diverse public-private partnerships to support a more coordinated, comprehensive response to prevent and combat human trafficking. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Northport to be affixed this 21st day of January 2025, signed John Hinton, Mayor. So we're so pleased to present this tonight. If one of you would like to make a few comments, please do so.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Captain Phil Simpson with the West Alabama Human Trafficking Task Force. On behalf of the Alabama Anti-Human Trafficking Coalition, the West Alabama Human Trafficking Task Force, some of our non-governmental agency assistance that we get from Trafficking Hope. This is something that is extremely subversive. It happens under the radar of most of our awareness. It's the kind of thing that you don't see and that we don't see except when we're looking in the right place. I'd like to thank the city of Northport, the mayor, the city council, Chief Burton for the support that they give us with their personnel. Also, allowing us to use their facilities, allowing us to work within the city limits of Northport, because it's happening here. And we have the 4 local main government agencies here that all work together very closely, have people on the task force working with the task force. And as you can see just by the arrests that you see occasionally, we don't put all of them in there, but occasionally put them in the newspaper, that this is something that is happening in our community. This is not something that happens in Los Angeles or Atlanta. These things happen here. And it's not just trafficking for commercial sex, it's also trafficking for labor. And we see that a lot with children, and we see it a lot in the labor trafficking in our cultural groups that often encompass some of the illegal immigrants, which make them very hesitant to come forward to us. And so it's very difficult for us to be able to break through that barrier and assist them. This is something that diligently we work very hard at, but we cannot do it without the support of city councils like Northport and the mayor and with the police chief, allowing us to use their personnel, allowing us to use some of their overtime budget so that we can get this done. We also cannot do it without the support of the citizens of Northport, because you're the ones that convey to your city council folks and to your mayor that this is important work to you. We have children as young as 7 years old in our community who are victims of this, and as old as 70, 72 that are victims. And that's just speaking on the commercial, the sex trafficking side. And so it is not something we can ignore. It's something we have to do. And the training that we do costs a lot. It takes a lot of our time, but it's very worthwhile, as well as the undercover operations that we do that are costly, take time, take a lot of manpower. And so we're very appreciative. I don't want to take any more of your time, Mayor, but we're very appreciative for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have others that want to speak? Would you like to?
No, we're good. We let him speak on our behalf.
I know you.
Captain Hope, did you want to say?
Okay. He did a great job, and we need to get a picture here.
Okay.
And let me give you the copy of the
Okay.
proclamation.
Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Our next presentation is honoring the service of Reverend McGarity. If you're here on behalf of accepting this proclamation, if you could please come to the lectern and join Mayor Hinton.
While they're coming, let me mention we have a prayer guide for the Trafficking Hope, and I'm going to let the council pass this along to each other, if you would. here, and be happy if one of you to make a few comments if you'd like when I get through. Okay. This is a proclamation regarding a great man that's passed that had a great influence in Northport, particularly with the fire department. Whereas Reverend Charles Christian McGarity, known to most as PK, was a beloved member of the community. And whereas Reverend McGarity graduated from Tuscaloosa Christian School and went on to earn his bachelor's degree in Christian education and a master's in counseling from Lee University. Whereas Reverend McGarity lived out a passion for educating teenagers and seeing their relationship with Christ grow during his years of service as a student pastor at Northport Church of God, Coastal Cathedral in Savannah, Georgia, and Dillon Church of God in Dillon, South Carolina. And whereas Reverend McGarity also served as a chaplain for the Northport Fire and Rescue. And whereas Reverend McGarity's service as fire chaplain to Northport was always invaluable to our community and played a vital role in emergency response by providing critical assistance to victims and firefighters during emergencies. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, John Hinton, as mayor of the city of Northport, do hereby recognize, remember, and honor the dedication of Reverend McGarity in the community he loved. In witness whereof, I've set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Northport to be affixed this 21st day of January 2025. Signed, John Hinton, Mayor. Already got one. Let's make one more picture. Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all so much for attending tonight. It's very good to see you. Item number 6 on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to make a motion to approve the agenda for the January 21st, 2025 council meeting as printed?
So moved. Second.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Aiken and a second by Pro Tem Washington. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb?
Voting with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 7 is visitors to address the council. We have none tonight. Item number 8 is unfinished business. 8A is ordinances and resolutions of a permanent nature. We have none tonight. Item number 9 is new business. 9A is ordinances and resolutions of a permanent nature. 9A1 is a first reading resolution accepting maintenance of municipal public improvements for a new building subdivision resurvey of lots 8 through 12 of Park West Business Center sidewalks. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, when the church rebuilt their new family center, they subdivided their property and were required to add sidewalks. So they've completed that, and we're asking to accept those sidewalks for our maintenance.
Okay. That's for a first reading. So is there anyone who would like to offer that for a first reading?
So offered.
All right, that's offered by Councilman Wiggins. 9A2 is a first reading ordinance to amend the Northport zoning ordinance to add an appendix for engineering, design, and construction manual. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, we're asking that you amend the ordinance to include an appendix for the engineering, design, and construction manual, and this will provide the minimum standards for design and construction for land development projects and public infrastructure in our city.
Okay, I know a lot of work has gone into that. Is there anyone who would like to offer that for first reading?
So offered.
All right, that's offered by Councilman Wiggins. Item number 9B is resolutions of a temporary nature. 9B1 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with LaCroix Richardson for the fiscal year 2024 audit. Mr. McGee.
Yes, ma'am. This is for our annual external audit, and we would ask you approve this.
Okay, so the form of that motion is to adopt the resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with LaCroix Richardson for the fiscal year 2024 audit of the city of Northport financial statements. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's a motion by Councilman Wiggins and a second by Councilman Aiken. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9B2 is a resolution for the allocation of 2025 Northport First Funds. Mr. McGee.
Yes, ma'am. This is for the proposed allocation of 2025 fiscal year Northport First Funds. Total amount of just over $7.7 million, and it was approved at our most recent Finance Committee meeting of council.
Yes, sir. Mr. McGee, thank you for that. I know it was approved at our Finance Committee meeting, but also would like to say especially thank you to our Projects Committee. I know that in that delegation comes an allocation for project that came out of our Projects Committee meeting to get all of our dirt roads paved or chip and sealed, within the next few years. It's really sad to know that we have dirt roads still in the city of Northport. So thank you, special thank you to our Projects Committee. I think this first one is going to Tom Taylor Road, and that allocation is in that with Northport First Funds. So the form of that motion is to adopt the resolution approving the proposed allocations for the 2025 Northport First Funds. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments?
President, I have a couple of questions. Go ahead, Mayor.
You go ahead.
Okay. Mr. McGee, on facility improvements, what are those for?
Facility improvements are for variety. There's quite a list, and I would probably have to defer for specifics to other staff that may know a little bit more about that than I do. But it's for a number of the some of the facilities we just did some work on.
Okay, okay.
And it's from some additional needs for those projects.
were
The
quite a
community
few in
center,
there.
and
Okay,
there's
That
a
we
number of
went through in
smaller
committee.
issues in that. But,
Okay. Okay,
we can
I'll
certainly
look.
get you details if we'd like. I
Okay.
don't have those specifics in front of me, but it's a number of those same facilities.
okay, on the dirt roads, and this, you may have to defer to Ms.
Probably
Tubbs.
will on
I mean,
projects.
so every dirt road will be paved, even Jones Road? Jones Road will not be paved in this. So
No, this first round was allocated for Tom Taylor.
so that is, Tom Taylor is gonna take $150,000
Chip and seal.
chip and seal? Okay,
There's a couple others that are in there too. So of all of our dirt roads, all of them after this allocation will have received chip and seal except for Jones Road. Jones Road is not a candidate. We'll have to have right away an extensive drainage project to be able to make improvements to Jones Road.
okay.
But the others on our list will be finalized with this, and it does include Tom Taylor.
Okay, let me ask you another question while you're up there, Ms. Tubbs. The 2 Mile Creek mapping, what is that exactly?
When a couple of years ago, we entered into a drainage study to look at the hydraulics of 2 Mile Creek in and around, specifically the Kirkwood Drive area, from Highway 82 basically up and around to Kirkwood Drive. There were some recommendations from our hydrologists that would allow us to revise the flood maps in that area, which will take a few homes out of the flood zone. So this is allowing us to move forward with the application to FEMA.
So that will benefit the residents in
Yes,
that
it will not
area.
benefit all of them, but it will benefit some.
Okay, last question, strategic communications for $175,000, what is that?
I can answer some of that, but this is to go in to help us from an economic development perspective,
Okay,
to go in and help create documents and answer questions that a lot of times we get from our economic development partners. That's one component of it. There's several other components in there too, I think, as well.
okay.
Ms.
All right,
Tubbs,
thank
can
you.
you have someone, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I
maybe
should
Mallory can
have
help.
read over it, but
Oh, no, it's no problem. Maybe Mallory can help with catching up Ms. Dykes, Councilwoman Dykes, after we have committee meetings, if she would like to see notes. I don't think she may have gotten those updates.
Yeah, I didn't see that, and it may have just because I missed it, but I didn't see the details on that.
Yeah, those were actually discussed in each committee
Okay,
meeting.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you,
We'd be happy to get you up to date with
thank
those.
you.
Are there any questions, any other questions or
Well,
comments?
let me make this comment. This money comes from the 1 cent tax, of course, that we levied in 2019. And everything on this chart here that's been worked out is needed, and it's a wide assortment of things. And I know that a lot of time has been spent in preparing this, and my thought is, without this 1 cent, where would we be with things like this? It just helps the city in so many ways, and I'm so pleased. I thought it was well done and well designed and covered a multitude of sins, so to speak. That's all.
We have a great staff, don't we?
We do.
Help us make those dreams come true. Are there any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. Item 9B3 is a resolution authorizing water service outside the city limits for property located at 13584 Christian Drive. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Madam President, this is a routine request. Staff recommends approval. It contains all the usual conditions.
Okay. So the form of that motion is to adopt the resolution authorizing water service outside the city limits to be provided to Ms. Jennifer Montgomery at 13584 Christian Drive pursuant to the conditions of the resolution. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Aiken. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes. Item 9B4 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute a right-of-way use agreement with West Alabama Food and Wine Festival for 2025. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, this is a right-of-way use agreement for our downtown area for the Food and Wine Festival. It will be held on April 27th, and the backup date would be May 4th.
Okay, thank you so much. The form of that motion is to adopt the resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute a right-of-way use agreement with West Alabama Food and Wine Festival for 2025. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Abstain.
Yes. Item number 9B5 is a resolution authorizing special permit for date night on the Bunny Trail 2025. Ms. Webb.
Yes, ma'am. We have been approached by Junior League of Tuscaloosa to expand the Bunny Trail for this coming year, and the request is that they host a special event entitled Date Night on the Bunny Trail, and they would like to host a date night at the Shirley Place, which is a city-owned property, and they are specifically asking that they be allowed to possess, sell, and consume alcohol on that property. We have worked with the Friends of Historic Northport to make sure that they are in agreement with moving forward with this proposal, and we are bringing it to you tonight to ask for permission to grant this, and so that they may move forward with their special event alcohol license.
Okay, thank you so much for working with Friends of Historic Northport as well for approval on that. The form of that motion is to adopt the resolution granting a special permit to the Junior League of Tuscaloosa for the 2025 date night on the Bunny Trail to allow for the possession, sale, and consumption of alcohol at Shirley Place on March 28, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments?
Ms. Webb, will they be able to walk or just stay on that property?
They'll have to stay on the property.
Stay on that property.
A special event license holder or service will have to pull a permit for a particular area through ABC, and ordinarily it requires a fenced-off area. As you know, Shirley Place is fenced in the back, so they will create a gate
Awesome.
at the driveway.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. 9B6 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to terminate the current low bidder for lawn care. Ms. Ram.
Yes, ma'am. We are asking that this contract be terminated due to inability to perform the work. The next resolution will authorize the next lowest bidder on that bid list from July.
Okay. So the form of this motion is to adopt the resolution authorizing the city administrator to terminate the contract with Grants Quality Lawn Care for lawn care maintenance. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Councilwoman Dykes and a second by Councilman Aiken. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9B7 is a resolution awarding bid for bid file number 24-02, lawn care maintenance to Landing Camp, DBA Navy Oak Services, LLC. Ms. Ram.
Yes, they are the next lowest responsible bidder on that bid list for those services.
Thank you. So the form of that motion is to adopt the resolution awarding bid for lawn care maintenance, bid file number 24-02 to Landing Camp, DBA Navy Oak Services, LLC, and authorize the city administrator to approve as needed all purchase requisitions for lawn maintenance using the hourly price from the said bid file. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. 9B8 is a resolution awarding bid for sewer repairs on Chestertown Trace. Mr. Webb.
Yes, a contractor was doing work in that area and damaged our line in several places. This will repair line. We are seeking reimbursements for the,
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
we are gonna seek reimbursements. for the
Reimbursement, okay. All right, so the form of, thank you. That form of that motion is to adopt the resolution awarding the bid for sewer repairs on Chestertown Trace to Apex Civil Construction Incorporated, the lowest qualified bidder, meeting specifications, and authorized the city administrator to execute necessary documents for the project. Do I hear a motion?
So move. Second.
That is a motion by Councilman Wiggins and a second by Pro Tem Washington. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. 9B9 is a resolution authorizing a commercial lease agreement with Mid-States Petroleum for fueling facilities. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Madam President. This has been long in coming. As you know, the city has a fueling facility next to Public Works. The prior operator, or his successor in interest, went into bankruptcy, so it's not been used by the city for a while, which has caused a lot of issues. We're happy to propose this agreement with Mid-States Petroleum. It will provide income to the city monthly. It'll provide a 3% fuel discount for city employees, but mainly it will let us fuel all of our facilities in one place. So we urge you to consider passage of this.
Okay. Sounds like a great opportunity. Thank you for our staff negotiating that and for the opportunity presented from Mid-States Petroleum. And the form of that motion is to adopt the resolution authorizing a commercial lease agreement with Mid-States Petroleum for fueling facilities. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
That's a motion by Councilwoman Dykes and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9C is consent agenda. It ranges from minutes, bill listings, and PO requisitions. Form of the motion is to approve the consent agenda for the January 21st, 2025 council meeting as printed. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilman Wiggins. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 10 is reports of special committees of council. Do we have any reports? Hearing none, we'll move to item 11, public hearings. We have 2 public hearings tonight. One is from planning and the other is from the police department. Speakers, please do not approach the council dais while in session unless given specific permission. Let's see. 11C1, Planning and Inspections Department is a second reading ordinance of conditional use approval to locate a performance residential development for approximately 4 acres located east of Highway 43 north and south of Owen Parkway. Ms. Ram.
Yes, ma'am. This does come with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. They did add the following conditions to that recommendation: 41 units and 96 bedrooms, no more than that. Add a public sidewalk along Owen Parkway. The materials for the structure shall be like or better than those used in Magnolia Hills. A privacy fence to be installed along the west property line. A 30-foot frontage landscape buffer along Owen Parkway that meets the requirements for residential developments backing up to a special corridor. Amenities shall be provided that would include a commercial-grade pickleball court, a dog park, and a dog park with black vinyl-coated fencing or equivalent, and then also screening to be provided along the east property line adjoining where Biscayne Hills joins this property.
Okay, thank
And
you.
it
Ms.
is
Ram.
ready for a public hearing.
Thank you. All right, with that, I'll open the floor for public hearing on agenda item 11C1. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this item? Hello, state your name and address, please.
Thank you. Brock Quarter, 1307 25th Avenue. Thank you for having me this evening. I'm representing the Builders Group. This project is a second project for us, very similar to one that you all are familiar with, I'm sure, the Square at Kaintuck. We're finishing that project up right now. It's a residential townhome community. This one will be 41 units, and we've seen tremendous response at Square at Kaintuck, and looking forward to bringing some more quality housing to the city of Northport. I did have a request in talking with staff after the meeting. One of the conditions that was placed on the development, maybe I didn't do a very good job of explaining to the Planning Commission, but the request about the frontage buffer along Owen Parkway meeting the requirements of a residential development backing up to a special corridor. We discussed that in the Planning Commission, and part of what I discussed with them is some of those units back up to that parkway, and we want to be able to provide some rear yards and some fencing in that area for those residents. And the way the motion got worded, I believe that special corridor overlay prohibits that. And so in speaking with staff, they said I needed to bring that up to you guys for consideration if you would consider allowing us to do that. I'm happy to still provide, adequate landscaping and working with city staff to meet that. But we do have some units that back up to Owen Parkway, and we want to be able to provide them with some rear yard.
Is there existing foliage or trees in that area that are buffer?
Not along Owen Parkway. There
Okay.
is on our eastern parkway backing up to Biscayne Hills.
So what about the 30-foot buffer would not be possible with the yards? Is it just that it wouldn't be 30 feet, or is it that there wouldn't be a buffer, or what?
30 feet is fine. It's that it requires a berm and doesn't allow fencing. And so we wanted to allow some fencing there to provide some privacy, along with some adequate landscaping as well.
Would the fencing just go along some of the properties, or would it go along the entire sort of frontage of the neighborhood?
We hadn't really determined 100%, but definitely in the rear of the units that face Owen Parkway, definitely there.
Do we have any other questions or comments for Mr. Quarter? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak for or against this item? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the floor for public hearing for agenda item 11C1. Form of the motion is to adopt the ordinance of conditional use approval to allow a performance residential development located in C3 General Commercial Zone for a property located east of Highway 43 North and south of Owen Parkway. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington and a second by Councilwoman Dykes. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Pro Tem Washington?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 11D is the police department. We have one item. 11D1 is an ABC license for Puff Stuff Outlet LLC on behalf of Amir Sadie, located at 2900 Hunter Creek Road. Chief Burton.
Yes, ma'am. There were no issues with this application.
Okay. With that, I'll open the floor for a public hearing for agenda item 11D1. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this item? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the floor for public hearing for agenda item 11D1. The form of that motion is to approve the ABC license for Puff Stuff Outlet LLC. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Wiggins and a second by Pro Tem Washington. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb?
Voting with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 12 is City Administrator's business. Ms. Webb?
I have none tonight, thank you.
Item number 13 is departmental business. We have none. Item number 14 is the mayor and council members' business. Will begin with the Honorable Mayor Hinton.
Thank you, Madam President. Having served on the council for 4 years and then as mayor for over 2 now, I'm particularly excited about this new year and all the improvements and additions we expect to see in Northport. Seeing is believing. We've been talking about a lot of things, but now you can see it happening. As our infrastructural improvement continues, more and more residents express delight and appreciation for these changes. And there are 10 things I would like to mention that I'm particularly excited about. The Highway 82 project is basically complete, and thank goodness that's finally happened. And the traffic is moving so much better now. The Watermelon Road project is complete. MLK Boulevard will be complete this year. Intersection 8243 should begin this summer. Intersection Mid-Larry Road 43 should be constructed this year. Construction will begin on Main Avenue this year. Construction on 5th Street should begin before the end of the year. Streetscapes Phase 2-3 should be complete and construction begin on Phase 4. Annual resurfacing will continue as it has each year. And so we're getting our streets in really good shape now, where we can have a rotation of those. And then the last thing is the sports complex at River Road will be open for local play in probably August of this year. I don't believe Northport has ever seen such infrastructural improvements as we have experienced in a 3 to 4 year period, including this includes next year. Streets are being paved along corridors, reconstructed with sidewalks and lights, sinkholes repaired, and a sports complex developed that will draw thousands of people to our city. I'm just so glad I've had the opportunity to be a part of this growth and improvement and to work with the council that we have at this point in time. Appreciation also goes to the fine leadership of Ms. Webb and Ms. Tubbs. They work nonstop, and our dedicated staff and employees. We have a lot to be thankful for and a lot we can brag about now as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hinton. We do have excellent staff. District 1, I know we are still working every day to get all of the right-of-way taken care of that's needed for moving forward with Main Avenue construction. Tonight, I would like to actually just give a special recognition to some people who worked very hard over the snowstorm that we had, and have just really gone above and beyond over the holidays. We had some employees who worked an extra day that was out, or actually 2 days outside of their shift, and some other employees who stayed overnight. And just hearing about our staff members and the excellent jobs that they're doing, I want to say a special thank you to Kevin Cummings, Chris Edwards, Matthew Hamner, Matt Perkins, Daniel Skinner, Rick Stevenson, Matt Sides, Stephen Van Landingham, Josh Wright, Matthew Knight, Brad Hamner, Brooke Starnes, and Ben Rodriguez from our Public Works Department. They've all gone above and beyond outside of their normal work to help during these times. From utilities, we had Terry West, Lance Hambright, Arlie Davidson, Ken Barnett, Matt Gray, and Logan Bolton. And just this morning, we had a note that came in this afternoon talking about Officer Landon Rosser from Northport Police Department for an incredible act of heroism this morning, which contributed to saving a life. And it's these types of efforts from our staff members that cause us all to be successful and contribute to the city of Northport and our lives. So I want to say a special thank you to all of those people. And next we will go to District 2 with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes, ma'am. I believe we need to go back to that last motion with Mr. Corder. We didn't include the fence, and that was all my fault.
Uh-oh.
I did want to include the fence, and I didn't. So, however, we need to clean it up.
Okay.
And then make another vote.
Ms. Webb, any suggestions on how we need to reword that motion?
Can I get a motion to reconsider that agenda item, which is 11C1, which would be the second reading of the ordinance of conditional use approval for the performance residential development for approximately 4 acres located east of Highway 43 North and south of Owen Parkway. This will be a motion to reconsider so that we can bring it back to the table.
I'll make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
All right, so that's a motion by Councilman Wiggins and a second by Pro Tem Washington. Do we have any questions or comments on that?
This is voting only on the motion to reconsider at this point, to bring it back to the table.
To reconsider with allowance for that fence.
We'll have to have a separate motion and second for the allowance of the fence in just a moment, if I can get it back on the table.
Okay, so we'll bring that back to the table. That's a motion for bringing item 11C1 back to the table, and with a motion by Councilman Wiggins and a second by Pro Tem Washington. Are there any questions or comments? All right, Ms. Webb?
Voting on the motion to reconsider, beginning with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
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 All right, now we can get back to discussing that condition that was an issue in regards to the fence. Ms. Ram, do you have a suggestion about wording on that particular condition?
Okay, the fence itself was not an issue. I mean, the fence can be constructed. It's fine for you to go ahead and put that in your motion. Our question was about the berm, and I think that's what Mr. Porter was also concerned about, was the berm. That requirement is for a 4-foot high berm, and it has to be at least 10 feet in width at the base. So I think that's one of his main concerns as well.
What's the solution to that concern?
If you remove that whole item and just have put 6 conditions.
I think they still wanted landscape.
This is a
Yeah,
question. This is a question. Would you be able to allow the removal of the berm requirement in such areas where backyard fencing is to be constructed, and let the other items stand
along Owen Parkway?
Along
to
Owen
remove
Parkway
that berm
only.
requirement.
In my opinion, you need to either remove the berm or require it, so I would remove the entire berm.
And require fencing along the entire Owen Parkway.
And landscaping.
What is the impact of berm? Is it just to shield the neighborhood from traffic? Is that the
Yes, to
intention?
provide that separation between between the backside of those units and Owen Parkway.
But
Is
there
there,
will still be fencing there that will shield
I
that.
think
is
that's
there
what
some
he's
other way to
proposing,
mitigate that so that
fencing
it,
and landscaping.
Yes, sir. My plan was to do solid privacy fencing and have some landscaping in front of the fence as well.
Between
So
the
do we-
fence and Owen Parkway.
so we
Correct,
need to
yes.
just include that in the motion to say that we
Instead, and remove that berm requirement.
remove the berm requirement and have, okay, so I will make a motion to adopt the ordinance of conditional use as stated in the record, except that we remove the berm and use other appropriate screening for the corridor.
Yes.
which would be a solid privacy fence and landscaping.
Yes, this-
Combination.
including a solid privacy fence and landscaping.
Okay, so that's a motion by Councilman Wiggins. Do I have a
Second.
Sorry. Second by
Sorry.
Councilwoman Dykes, I think.
I should have let you get finished there.
I know, sorry about that. Any questions or comments in addition to those? Anybody? All right, hearing none, Ms. Webb.
This is a voting on a motion to approve the conditional use with this amended condition that we've so stated. Voting with Pro Tem Washington.
Yes.
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 I hope this is recorded so Miss Nixon
I wrote
doesn't
it
have to
down.
go through this.
The berm requirement has been removed for 11C1.
Deberm the berm.
Yeah, we debermed it.
Yep.
Yeah, and there will be a solid privacy fence and landscaping that will block traffic from the houses from the traffic. All right, so moving back, we are going back to District 2, Pro Tem Washington.
No, ma'am. I done enough.
No business tonight. You had some business
I
tonight.
done enough.
All right, District 3, Councilman Wiggins.
I just want to say thank you to Pro Tem Washington for correcting that, and I don't have any other items tonight.
All right, District 4, Councilwoman Dykes.
Yeah, I've got a question for Mr. Davis. I've had several questions regarding University Beach and their plans. Have those plans been submitted to staff?
Yes, under the development agreement, the developer had a deadline. I think it was, my recollection is it was December the 20th to submit plans to the city. That deadline was met. They did not ask for an extension. And right now, city staff, primarily engineering, are reviewing those plans. So that's where we are. I have not personally seen them, but I'm told that they're here and they're being reviewed by city staff, which is what our normal procedure would be on
So
any
this is
development.
what we would follow with Mr. Porter or somebody came
That's
up?
correct. When he submits his plans, he would submit it, and I think on the internet, I sent to the council. You don't see, I don't think any of you've ever seen
Planning and zoning.
engineering
No.
plans. If you're like me, you couldn't read them anyway.
No.
No offense, I can't.
Right.
But when a developer submits their plans, they submit it to the engineering department, then if other staff is needed. But right now, it's my understanding they were submitted on December 20th to our engineering staff, or they're currently being reviewed by them.
Okay.
And which is the normal way we would do any development, not
Okay.
just University Beach.
That's all. I just had several questions, and I'm sure other people have had the same questions. That's all, Ms. Bobo.
Okay, thank you. All right, District 5, Councilman Aiken.
Nothing tonight. Let's go home.
Okay, item number 15 is
Call.
to adjourn the meeting. Form of that motion is to adjourn the meeting at 6:17 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, that's a motion by Pro Tem Washington, a second by Councilman Wiggins. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.